Traditionally, rope has been made from vegetable fibre, such as this sisal from Africa. Today, stronger and more durable rope is made from plastic, like these polypropylene beads. Passing through a plastic extrusion machine and coming out as a metre-wide film, which is then cut into 6 strips and passed over a very hot plate and shrunk to approximately 4 centimetres. Then under tension through a set of rollers and finally onto a spool. At this stage it's known as tape. Several spools of tape are then fed into a machine that twists them into yarn. Then to the final machine where 11 yarns are first twisted into strands and 3 strands are twisted into rope. To handle rope successfully, you should know how it's laid up. Most common rope is of 3 strands laid up from bottom left to top right and is known as right-handed. A right-handed or hawser-laid rope should always be coiled clockwise. Don't put a rope away wet, especially if it's made of vegetable fibre, as these fibres can become mildew, and this mildew will eat into the fibres like rust into metal. Historically, the size of a rope was known by its circumference, but now manufacturers describe their products by its diameter. The parts of a rope. The end of the rope not in use or made fast to something is the standing end. The end which is being used is the running end. The part between the 2 ends is known as the standing part. The standing part can be formed to make a loop or bight. If passed completely around a spar, it forms a round turn. Before using a new rope, we need to stop the strands from unravelling. With synthetic rope, the easy way is to melt the ends and weld them together. This is all right if done properly, but if badly done, sharp and very hard edges can be formed, and if pulled through a clenched fist, considerable damage can be done. Scouts are taught to whip the ends of a rope. This is done with string or whipping cord. Start by making a loop in the line and laying it on one end of the rope. Then wrap the line tightly around the rope, working back over the loop until the whipping is about as long as the rope is thick. Slip the end through the loop and pull the other end of the line until the loop is approximately halfway down under the whipping. Cut off the ends, and there you have it. To gain the Scoutcraft badge, you have to learn 4 knots and 3 hitches. The trick in knot tying is to use the right knot for the task at hand and to tie it correctly. The right knot holds when you want it to and unties easily. The wrong knot may come undone under load or may jam so tight you cannot undo it at all. Let's begin with the reef knot. This knot is used to join 2 ropes of equal thickness and in first aid as it's a flat knot and does not dig in. If you have some rope handy, join in with the demonstrations. Take the running ends of 2 similar sized ropes, one in each hand, place the right hand end over the left and twist it completely around. Note the ends have changed sides. The left is now the right and the right is now left. Place the new left over the new right and twist it around. Holding both the running ends and the standing parts, pull them apart, tightening the knot. To untie this knot, just hold the ends as for tightening and push them apart. Once more, right over left and twist, left over right and twist, pull tight. Note that the running ends are both on the same side. All these are commonly called knots, but some are hitches. The difference being that a knot is when two ropes are joined together, and a hitch is when a rope is tied to a spar or some other solid object. Now for the clove hitch. You'll need one piece of rope and something solid to tie it to. The clove hitch is used to tie a rope at right angles to a spar or another large rope, and is used at the start and finish of the square lashing. There are two ways of tying this hitch. First, take the running end and pass it over and around the spar. Cross over the standing part, hold this crossover point with your thumb and forefinger. Then take the running end around the spar once more and up under itself and pull both ends tight. To release the hitch, push back on the running end and the standing part. Once more, running end around and cross over, hold the crossover point. Continue the running end around and up under itself. Pull both ends tight. If you want to fit a storm guy to your tent, then a simple way to tie this hitch is to take the center of the rope in the right and left hands a short distance apart and twist both ends like this. Note that both the running ends are on opposite sides of the standing part. Then bring both loops together so that the running ends are lying side by side. Place the loops over the end of the spar and pull the running ends. Let's do that again. Hold the center of the rope in each hand a short distance apart. Twist so that the running ends are on opposite sides of the rope. Bring the loops together, slip over the end of a spar and pull tight. The bowline. A knot used when you want to tie a fixed loop onto the running end of a rope. Determine the size of the loop you want to form, allow a bit more for the knot, and at this point form a small loop by twisting the running end over the top of the standing part. Bring the running end up through the loop, under and around the back of the standing part, and follow itself back down through the loop. Hold the ends of the bight formed in the running end and pull the standing part. Once more, determine the size, form a loop laying the running end on top of the standing part, bring the running end up through the loop around the back of the standing part and back down through the loop. Pull to tighten. The sheep shank. Used to shorten a rope or strengthen a frayed rope. Take up the slack, form a bight and lay it alongside the standing part. Form a half hitch by twisting the standing part and slip it over the ends of the bight. Do the same at the other end. If you have a frayed rope, then means of strengthening it is to use the sheep shank. Form a bight, making sure that the frayed section is within this bight. Lay it alongside the standing part, form the half hitches and slip them over the ends of the bight. Sheet bend. This knot is used to join two ropes, especially if the ropes are of different size, and to tie a rope to a permanent loop or eye. To join two different size ropes, form a bight in the larger rope. This is important. Always make the bight or loop in the larger rope. Hold this to make a closed loop, and with the smaller rope come up through the loop from behind. Take this end around the larger rope and then back under itself. Don't let this end slip back through the loop. Pull the standing part of the smaller rope and there you have it. Like the other knots, push it back to untie. Okay, once more. Form a bight in the larger rope. Hold this as a closed loop. Bring the smaller rope up from behind, through the loop and around the back of the larger rope and back under itself. Pull the standing part of the smaller rope. Round turn and two half hitches. Used to make a rope fast while there is tension on the standing part. Like the clove hitch, you will need something solid to tie this to. Take the running end and pass it around the spar or tree, not just halfway, completely around. Then make a half hitch by bringing the running end over the standing part and through the loop and pull tight. Repeat this last movement, over, through and pull tight, to make the second half hitch. Undo it and we'll try it again. The running end around the spar to form the round turn, then 2 half hitches by bringing the running end over and through the loop. And again, over and through. Note that the 2 half hitches make a clove hitch. The rolling hitch. This is a very useful knot. It can be used to take the tension off a rope in use, so that adjustments can be made to that rope, and can be used as a temporary toggle on a tent, as it slips easily in one direction but locks tight in the other. Take the running end around and over, around again and up the same side of the standing part, over once more and up the other side of the standing part, and then under itself. Pull tight. Make sure you take the tension on the standing part at right angles to and over the 2 round turns. OK, once more. Running end over and around, over once more and up the same side, over again and up the other side of the standing part and under itself. Pull tight. As a temporary toggle, pass the rope around the tent peg forming a bight. Then tie the rolling hitch around the standing part. By sliding it up the standing part and pulling it tight, it will hold in that position. Now, with a little practice, you should have no bother passing this part of your Scoutcraft badge. Good luck.